You are listening to all Burgundy and Gold, everything powered by the urban sports scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. Your hosts are Wole and Mo. The homies Ray and Glenn are out. What is good, Mo?
Man, I can't call this a great day to talk Commanders football, man.
I know, man. I was boosted on Monday night. I was living my best life. You know what I'm saying? I lived my best life. That's the most excited I've been about a Commanders game in forever.
Listen, man, when
definitely the biggest winner. Yeah, the play. Go ahead.
When play calling and execution match, it gives you all the optimism that you're supposed to have as a fan.
Especially when you listen to me. I'm cool with that. Listen to me, I'm boosted.
So especially when it's right in line with everything you've been preaching for the past.
Exactly, bro. Right? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? When Scott Turner listens to me, everything is gravy. I can't call it. You know what I'm saying? The only person that don't listen to me is Jack Del Rio, and I think it's working for him. I told him to blitz. He don't blitz. He still want to know what he's blitzed a little bit more, but he doesn't have to blitz. So you know what? I'm gonna give him his flowers. You know, he didn't listen to me, and he's still kind of doing this thing. So
he's still kind of doing this thing up.
Yeah, so I'll give him his flowers. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. You know, obviously to me that was the biggest win in my opinion, the biggest win in Ron Rivera regime. Mm-hmm. You know, people gonna mention the Pittsburgh game, but this game was different. It was a lot, going into it. Because Pittsburgh,
there's a lot of similarities, isn't it? Because they both were undefeated at the time.
Yeah, but I thought Pittsburgh was playing some sloppy games. I thought the Eagles looked more dominant going into that game.
I think a lot of people, their contest to that would be like, their contention to that would be like Pittsburgh played some tougher games back then, though.
True.
The Eagles' schedule has been a little bit,
I got you saying that's fair. That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Yeah, but I just thought like what was going on, where the direction of the team. You got the outside noise, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, right. Especially for Coach Rivera, like his mom passed too.
Right.
It's a lot.
This team, as much as I've heard a lot of people want to get rid of him and all this kind. It seems like the team rallies around him when
they do, man. They do.
Strike, you know what I mean? Like it's like if he could bottle that up and just open it every week, every Sunday, and the team's a little bit more formidable, I think a lot of people be in a better headspace about it. But like they really rally around this guy, man. Yeah. It seems that anytime there's some turmoil or some tragedy around him, they respond.
They get together. I've said this before. I don't have a problem. We're about to get to the actual show, but I don't have a problem with Rivera, the coach. I have a problem with the people he picks to coach around him. Okay. You know what I mean? I think there's there's loyalty. There's loyalty that I don't, it's cool to be loyal, but obviously you got to judge people.
You don't quite understand, huh?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I get that, but then sometimes you just got to look at what you got and just coach that, do that, like do it right for your team. But in terms of him inspiring his players playing for him, I've never argued that. Like I will, like, even when they play horrible football, you see guys trying, like they try for that dude. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I talk about Taylor Heineke. They play for him. That's the reason. The argument I can never, as much as I don't like Taylor Heineke, the quarterback, right? The thing that he does, you see, and if you can't hate on it. The players play for him. It's a fact. They play for him. Like your best player on the offense plays for him.
Every single
he plays for him.
It's such a drastic jump in effort.
Yes,
you mean,
man. And not to say he doesn't try. It's not to say he doesn't try because Scary tries hard.
Terry is as professional as they come. Yeah. It's just, but I think effort,
the emotion,
the emotion, like where Carson is supposed to be this second overall pick and this wily veteran and like status quo quarterback, like Taylor Heineke comes in there and it's an infusion of energy, bro.
Yes, it's an
infusion of energy. Like it's like he plays as if I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah, that's how he plays though. Yeah. He said it though. He's like he played like his last. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I'm not supposed to be here. So whatever happens, and like it invigorates the team, man. And as much as he lacks some ability that you would want from a top 32 quarterback in the National Football League, meaning a starter, you got to take some of those lows that he provides with those highs that he provides. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like Terry is clearly a better player when he's on the field.
Yes, I think that's agreed.
And like as an organization, if I'm paying you some $20 million, I want to see that productivity, right? And not
very fair point.
Very
fair point.
And if Terry's your best player on offense,
you got to find a way to get the ball.
You got to find a way to get him something. You know what I mean? Like Carson, with all the ability that he has, it goes back to we both coach
youth sports,
amateur sport, youth sports, right?
Youth sports. Mm-hmm.
I always have this argument with people. They're like, "Oh, this person's way more talented. Oh, this person has they can do all of this. They have a plethora, like in basketball, they have a plethora of ways of scoring."
Yeah.
But if you have a plethora way of scoring, this person only is a limited way of scoring, but you guys average the same.
Oh man,
what's the point of all your ability?
I have an example. Yeah, I have a great example. I had a kid who played soccer, but he was a basketball. He played ball. But if you told me his skill set wasn't like compared, I had another kid that could do everything: dribble behind his back, go behind his legs, 3-ball, all this other stuff. When it come to games, this one kid, the one kid that had limited skill set, dropped. Lie to you not. We're talking about from boys and girls basketball, and for ages 10 to like 13, when he was still playing ball with us consistently, he would get me like 20 every freaking game. And the other kids, and he go to the line like 10 plus times. Why? Because he was just a dog. Like you said, like that mentality. So you're right. I get your point. Like you may not have the skill set like some other players who can do a lot more, or even like you were talking about football, who can, like, you may have a quarterback who don't got the cannon, who don't got the arm, but they got that mentality. Like, you know, Tim Tebow's a prime example. Like Tim Tebow's a prime example. When he was starting in Denver, you would say Tim Tebow's not accurate. He got an arm and not accurate. Doesn't seem like the prototypical quarterback in terms of getting the football somewhere, but he was an animal. When you needed him to make a play, he make a play. He found a way to get it done. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, Teineke has that. I said it. Teineke has that Tebow vibe with me, man. Like he has a Tebow vibe with me. He finds a way to help a team get a W. You may not like it may not be pretty, but he finds a way.
Man, tell the people who they're listening to, man.
Hey, man, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search all Burgundy and go Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything. And hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything. And like our all Burgundy and Go Errrything Facebook page. Do not forget to subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Errrything YouTube channel as well. All right, man, we talked a lot about some other stuff. It's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We're going to talk about the Commanders' upcoming game against the Houston Texans. All right, Mo, start us off with the first question.
Man, no better person to ask this question than Coach Rivera announced today that Taylor Heinicke will be the starting quarterback against the Houston Texans coming up this weekend. What are your thoughts?
I think it's the right move. You guys see what I mean? You know, I said before, I'm not the biggest Taylor Heinicke supporter, but, you know, he showed me a lot in terms of if you run this same game plan, when you run the football, limit the opportunities for Taylor Heinicke to kind of do that Heinicke type of thing, right? Where wants to make a play and forgets coverage, just throws the ball up to a certain spot. You got to run the football. You limit those opportunities and make him use his feet, and also and then eventually he'll make a couple plays to help you win a football game. So you run the football and do that. Yeah, it's good to keep him against a Houston Texans team who's one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. So this is the ideal game for Taylor Heinicke to kind of keep the ball movement, keep momentum going. And, you know, the most important thing is, like, these guys are playing for him. These guys are excited. You saw that win against Monday night, Monday night, how they rally around them, even them after the game on the airport, on the airplane, you know, back home, you know, doing a Kirk Cousins copycat thing, whatever. I'm not a fan of it, but still, whatever. They all loved it. You know what I mean? They all were rallying around the dude. So I'm like, yo, this is it. Like, you gotta go with the kid. And even Coach Rivera said this prior to making the announcement, was that he was going to ask his players, you know, because he knows Heinicke is infectious, and ask the players the vibe of, like, you know, about the decision, because he wanted to get the vibe of the players. And once I heard that statement, I was like, yeah, it's going to be Heinicke, because if it's about skill and, you know, how to throw a football and accuracy, you would go where Carson Wentz. But if you're talking about the players, how they play for him, you know, how he's gritty, how he's gutsy, he's got this Tebow mentality, this Rudy mentality, you just want to root for him. Then it's going to go with him. And he's the hot hand. You know, if you're going to be anything, you always stick with the hot hand. There's a reason why Tom Brady kept the job over Drew Bledsoe because Drew Bledsoe
Bledsoe.
was having a good year. It's just Tom Brady was the hot hand. Even it was the hot hand throughout that season when Drew got
Right.
hurt. Even though when Drew won that playoff that got them to the Super Bowl by winning that AFC Championship game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the hot hand, Bill Belichick was like he was squirming about it, but he went with the hot hand who got him there, which was Tom Brady. So I'm just saying, like, you go with a hot hand. In this situation, Taylor Heineke's the hot hand. Hey, I'm not comparing him to Tom Brady though. FYI, letting you folks know.
Nobody get that confused. The scenario is just the same in a way that you don't get away from the hot hand. And I think that sums it all up. You know, you're not gonna get any contest from me in there. I'm more of a believer in Tom Brady and Taylor Heineke now. You see, you got to call him.
My bad, bro. That's my fault.
Hey, man. I'm more of a believer in Heineke than you are because I don't look at the status quo of what a player should be rather than what they showed me in the time, right? Every season is different also, right? If we're talking longevity, everybody's going to pick Carson Wentz in a lineup. Everybody's going to pick Carson Wentz in a competition to show individual skill set, right? Yeah. But it's something about this guy when he lines up at quarterback that because he's not so polished, right? Yeah. That allows him to make some plays and certain things that Carson wouldn't even do, even though Carson has a better skill set. Yeah. To be as I think a lot of the skill sets that we want to see in a quarterback hinders Carson Wentz actually when he's on the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a lot of the thinking he does,
a lot of the extra thinking he does, a lot of the, you know, like he's not as instinctual. He's not as
he's not what he used to be.
He's not even the passion in, you know, that he displays during the course of the game. Like it doesn't even seem like
it's not the same. It's not what he was when in
Philadelphia. There's no fire. There's no fire there. You know what I mean? Like there's no fire there. Like when the pocket is collapsing, instead of trying to look downfield, Taylor Heineke is like, yo, this is football. I can use my legs too. I can go. Carson Wentz has some legs. You know, I don't know if the injury in the past has changed them or whatnot, but like
I think the places that he's been to has changed them too.
Right. It's not that he's not without the ability and the talent to move and get occasional first downs with his feet, you know, but there's something that stops him and whatever thing is does not exist in Taylor Heineke. He plays so fearless. Like you said, when you categorize him and when you describe him, it's you don't use typical football skill set type deals. It's always like, oh, he's gritty, he's tough, he's this, you know what I mean? That, but it's resulting in wins to the point of where he's over 500 for his career. I think it's only
over 10 and 9.
Yeah, 10 and 9. He's over 500, you know, and this is not the most well-constructed team, right? So like you got to take.
I think it's a good constructed team. I just think
I'm talking about like in general. Like you wouldn't call the Washington Commanders the last 3 years a well-built team.
Oh, last 3 years. Yeah. You talking about the years, not this year. You're not saying this year. You talking about
during Heineke's time.
Okay, that's fair. Very fair.
Yeah, right.
Very fair.
You wouldn't say. I mean, you wouldn't say, oh, they're a well-constructed team.
No, not at all.
So,
not at all.
For Heineke to be able to be successful, right?
By far not.
But he finds a way, is what I'm saying. He finds a way. So, like, I think Ron Rivera made the right call. I think that you reward the young fella by having the high hand, by winning the games. He's beaten Aaron Rodgers,
Tom Brady in the past. Russell Wilson.
Like it's quarterback. Yeah, like it's some quarterbacks is going to be in Canton that he's going to have on his notch on his belt that he's, you know, not that it's come in a time where it was very, very important, like a playoff or something like that, but like he's showing that he's adequate and he's showing that he deserves to play until he shows us something different. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying, like, I mean, you just got to make sure the game plan set up for him correctly. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't have him. I don't like see the thing that, and people use that like he beat Tom Brady, he beat Aaron Rodgers.
But you know, to quarterbacks.
But you know, there's levels to that when you say that, because you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Because Tom Brady, when you beat, like, for instance, Pat Mahomes beat Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, because it's a duel. Like, you beat Josh Allen. It wasn't that Pat Mahomes.
He was a better player that whole day.
Yes, like that whole day. Like he's the one. Like, it wasn't because a team did it. Like, he beat Josh Allen. Like, I think people get so enamored. Like, he beat this. the team beat them. But there's certain situations where you flat out and say, oh, no, he beat him. You know what I'm saying? He beat him. Like in the Super Bowl, the comeback, Tom Brady beat Matt Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Like he beat Matt Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the level. That's when you say that somebody beat him because they're winging it and doing it. It's not, oh, we got to run the ball this amount of times. No, they flat out, like when you needed a play to make it, they beat it. Like he did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's not the perfect storm. Like when you say somebody, when a quarterback, when people say he beat this person, like when your defense is trash and you can lean on that one dude, you know what I mean? Like Justin Herbert was beating teams. This season's a little different, but it was beating teams, right? Like, so it's different, but I get it though. I get how people want to, it's the resume. It's on the resume. Yeah, he's played well in those games, man. He's played adequate. He's managed games well in those games. That's why I want to.
Okay, let me put it this way then, right? Currently they sit at 5-5, right?
Yeah.
So he's won 2 out of 3.
He beat the Packers and the Colts, and now the 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
Yeah, 3 out of 4. Yeah.
He's won 3 out of 4, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's won 3 out of 4. Who did he lose to?
Minnesota? He lost to the Vikings.
Vikings. Okay, so he's won 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has. If we look at the games that Carson played his best.
Yeah. And he was winging it. He was winging it.
Right. And we look at if we look at the games that Carson played his best, and we look at Heineke's 3 wins. Heineke's 3 wins are more impressive.
See, this is what I argue. It's hard to say that. Know why it's hard to say that? This is my only argument with that. Because you're graded, then you graded it on it. It's not fair in this aspect because you're asking 2 people to do two separate things. You're asking Taylor Heineke, when he is the quarterback, they're more run oriented. They're doing way more 7-step drops with Carson Wentz. They're throwing the ball way more, doing way more passing plays with Carson Wentz compared to Taylor Heineke.
I think that goes back to your foolish offensive coordinator.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying like that's why Taylor Heineke there is a resume. There's a recipe for Taylor Heineke. This is the truth. Because
he's a recipe player. He's a recipe type player.
Yeah. So what you do is you run the football and then you limit and then you let him use his legs and you let him make certain plays. With Carson, because it's the shiny new toy, you're asking him to throw the football because you feel like he's going to find people open, even with a bad offensive line. The offensive line is bad throughout. Heineke makes it easier because he can run. That's a fact. He makes it easier because he can run. But you got an immobile quarterback. You have an immobile quarterback.
So devil's advocate. They ran the ball 10, 18, 25, 28 times against the Colts. 6 of them was Heineke. And we know they were on quarterback draws.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 22 times for less than 70 yards.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I can't say the run game did that. He threw 23 for 31 against Sam Ehlinger. He won that game. He won it by 1 point.
How many points they score?
17.
That's not, see what I'm saying? Like, it's different. Like, you talking about the best, Carson's best games or his best games that he's won are like, or even his best games they're 300-yard games, bro. Like, they're 300, 400. Taylor Heineke's barely throwing for 200. No knock. I'm not knocking. I'm saying it's hard to say a quarterback's winning you games when you know this. Like it's quarterbacks, quarterback play. When a quarterback wins you a game, are you saying they're throwing for 150, 200? What are they? How are they winning the game for you if they're throwing 150 to 200? You know what I'm saying? Like it's
okay. So
in today's NFL.
So hear me out. Carson's games that he won was the Jaguars game
and that Bears game.
The Bears
sucked, and he didn't please hold.
And the Bears game.
Yards. I don't think the
Bears game was trash.
Uh-huh.
The Jaguars game, he almost gave it away until Sunshine gave it away.
They threw it. They hit a clutch. Yeah, but so did Taylor Heineke. It's like you're going to use an argument. You got to be fair. The Colts game, you do that.
I mean, but that was a 300-yard game, right? So that
300-yard game. I agree. But if you're going to say he almost threw away the game, then you got to look at every game that Taylor Heineke played and say the same thing.
For sure. But I think that this emphasis on the run is overrated.
No, they do run the ball more. It's a fact, though. It is. That's not a lie. Because the Bears game, if you look at the games, the Detroit game, look how many times they try to throw the ball to the Detroit game. Look at the Jacksonville game. Look at
he threw the ball 41 times in the Jacksonville game.
I'm saying, look at how many times they ran the football.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to, we got 24, 20, 28 first game.
Yeah.
You got 28 the first game. We go
throwing the ball?
They threw the ball
No,
41
look at the runs because I'm talking about he's going down. He's getting sacked.
I'm looking at the runs.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
So
looking
he's
at
getting
the runs.
sacked because he's getting sacked. Something he's not even throwing because he's getting sacked.
I'm just looking at the attempts.
Yeah.
For running. I'm not talking
for
about
running.
yards.
Yeah.
So you got 4, 5, 7, 21. He threw the ball 46 times against Detroit.
Yep.
And lost.
46 times.
And lost.
46 times.
Right?
You don't ask it. You're never going to ask Taylor Heineke to throw the ball 46 times.
46 times. You
Never.
should never.
Never going
to
do that.
have to.
Never going to do that.
So I get where you're going with that. I just think that is overstated when he's playing, and I think that the offensive coordinator should take a page out of the book of Taylor Heineke and put it into Carson.
That's my point. See, that's the thing. Yeah. Like that's my point. My point is not. It's not about Carson Taylor Heineke because I think that the hot hands.
But I think also.
Yeah.
Taylor Heineke's games have been closer.
They're closer because you're playing a different style.
Right.
Remember, I told you time possession. It's a time possession. I said, remember, this is what I've been preaching the whole year. Like, play the time. Like, I even said when the line was trash. I was like, they're not blocking, so they're not pass blocking. So just play the time possession game. I said this with Carson. Like, play the time possession game. You've shown to win that. Like that winning streak that I talked about last year was the time of possession game. If you play that style, but the issue is that the coordinator. He wants to air it out. I mean, it's a fact. He wants to air it out. That's what it is.
So,
but yeah.
Do you think that style would avoid a letdown this weekend against the Houston Texans after they beat the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles?
I think the style will work. I think the style still works against the Texans because the Texans aren't good against the run. But I don't think that's all about mentality. Like, you got to make sure your players are ready because I believe to me it's gonna be more, the onus gonna be more on the defense. This is my opinion. I think the defense has to have that same mentality they have against the Eagles and this stretch of games where they've been playing decent football, even the Vikings. Like, it won't be on the offense. I think the offense, it is what it is. Like, they're not gonna be arrogant. Like, the offense won't think that they're special because they didn't do anything, in my opinion, to say, oh, we're special. Like, we can't. Like, we're gonna do this because the offense has always been this level, right? It's been it's not a potent offense. It's not a potent offense, right? But the defense is what you have to rely on and say, hey, you cannot put your foot off the brake. Like, Montez, you gotta be like Deron, Jonathan, you gotta be Jonathan Allen. And I don't expect those two dudes to be on themselves. I expect them to play at the same level, those two. But Kendall Fuller, who to me the last 2 weeks has been really good. Mm-hmm. I think he's been the best corner the last 2 weeks. St. Juice, like, players like that, they are the ones you got to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Derek Forrest, like, he balling, but you got to worry about players like that because they're young. Like, they're gonna start. You got to worry about them. Those are the players I feel like they got to worry about. Hey, pump your brakes, take it one game at a time because Mills. They got Nico Collins back, who played well against the Giants last week, had a touchdown. Pierce, who's just a good back. They got some weapons. They got Cook. They got some weapons, bro.
If they don't take care of business,
you can get beat. You can get beat, and you're playing on the road. You can get beat. You can get beat. I mean, like, to me, like, this same team has competed. Like, they competed with the Eagles. They competed with the Eagles. They've got a lot of close games, man. They've been a lot of close games.
Man, Houston. I mean, competed with the Eagles till halftime. The Houston just don't have
halftime. Man. But I mean, they've been in a lot of close games, though. They've been in a lot of close games, and this team isn't. Washington, I'll say this again, your offense isn't dynamic enough to think that you should take this team lightly. You know what I mean? No. Like, you're not dynamic enough. So, but I do believe that if you stick to this game plan, you'll be all right. Like, you won't have to worry about it. If you limit their opportunities and you can, instead of getting 3 points, you get touchdowns, then you should be okay.
I think more than commitment to that, I think that the backs have to be as effective as they were. And they have to be as effective as they were. I think that, Houston has a lot of young linebackers that fly around. And even if you look at this past game against the Eagles, like, it was more runs, but, like, they weren't.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. My commitment. Yeah, no, they weren't. No, they weren't. They weren't good at all. That's my key about. That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, why it's different. If that was Carson, he would try to throw the ball because he's done that. Like, 3-point yards to carry is not good. But it shows you the commitment, though. When you're committed, it's 49 rushes. I believe they had 49 rushes.
Yeah.
With 3-point yards a carry, average 3-point yards a carry. Great point, Mo. I'm saying, like, so in this game though, it won't matter. Like, they gotta make sure they still are run heavy, because Brian Robinson, what he does is he's tiring you out. He's leaning on you. He's
Wears you down.
consistently, yeah, he's wearing you down, and then you can run Gibson behind
He
that.
he just doesn't have the pop.
Not yet, but he's getting healthier though. What I'm saying is he's getting healthier. This was his, arguably saying, this was his best game, like, because he had more of that strong running style. This was like close. This is the closest to Alabama Brian Robinson Jr. This is the closest that we've seen. Other than the preseason. The preseason, he was, yeah, that's it. Because but the gunshot, he's still not healthy, obviously, 100% healthy, but he's getting there. But to my point is that, like, but still the formula. It doesn't have to be effective. It just has to. You just got to get into manageable down and distances, like with Heineke. You do not want to be in 3rd and long with Taylor Heineke. You know what I'm saying? You want to be in a situation where defenses don't know if you're going to playing short game or going deep. You know what I mean? Where he doesn't have to go extremely deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a situation where he has that 15-yard in. You know what I mean? Or he has an opportunity to take a shot. You know what I'm saying? But it's that quick shot for 30. You know what I'm saying? So it's things like that. So I'm like, they got to get in those situations, that down and distance where, okay, it's 2nd and 5. Cool. They don't know if we're going to run the ball or throw the ball. We're good. You know what I'm saying? You want to get there. You know what I'm
saying? I think on the other side of the token, I think that in order to avoid the letdown, the defense has to concentrate on stopping Houston's run. I think Dameon Pierce is in the top 5. Dameon Pierce is in the top 5 in rushing right now in the NFL at over 800 yards. Like, Houston has been without weapons on the outside due to injury, getting them back, but like Davis Mills is a certain level of quarterback in which defensive coordinators are not losing sleep at night, right? And I think
he's not. I don't dislike him.
I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's bad.
I do not dislike him, man. I do not dislike him.
He's not. The same way you don't find Taylor Heineke be that much of a threat. I don't think he's that much of a threat. I think he is what he is. He's. I
mean, he was a highly recruited high school quarterback. You know, he has pedigree.
He has
a lot of pedigree, dude.
The high school pedigree is a little bit different than
Totally agree.
So I think that if not only if the Commanders can run the ball, they need to be able to defend against the run and keep Houston in some down and distances that are advantageous for them to pass rush.
Yes,
right, because the pass rush should win this week.
Yeah, I agree.
Pass rush should win this week with the woes that we've seen from Houston. It tends to be Houston's problem, right? When they drop back to pass, they don't have too much time, and the weapons have been gone. But now the weapons are back, so there should be a conservative effort in capping Dameon Pierce and keeping him at a manageable clip, because Houston is committed to the run with them, and he does give them a little bit of ability in the pass catching game.
He does.
Yeah, so I like to see them. I like to see the Commanders commit to the run on their end. I don't know if 49 is going to be the number this week, but something that same recipe needs to be cooking up. and then they need to stop the run on their end to make sure that this is a game that they win handily and not lose any people to injury because the game was tightly contested, right?
The thing too.
But we all know who that comes down to.
Yes.
And that the elephant in the room is Scott Turner. Will he stick to the run? Will he win the time of possession? What do you think? And do you have any confidence in the offensive coordinator this week?
I never had any confidence on Scott Turner. I don't. I mean, but I think it's common sense to do it. But I'll give you a percentage. I think it's fair. Cause I feel like since it worked, it'd be naive for me to think that he would go against it, right? It'd be naive of me. But I'll give you a percentage, so I think it's fair. I'm 60-40 with it. Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's thinking that the Texans are coming in. They're one of the worst run defenses in the league. They're going to stack the box, going to try to stop the run. They saw what we did. We're going to try to air this thing out over time.
You're going to try to outsmart them, right?
Outsmart. You know what I mean? Like, I can see him doing that. Because they got old boy out of LSU, the young boy. Oh my God, from LSU. Don't they got the cornerback?
Oh, it's Stingley.
They got Stingley, yeah. Got potential. So, you know what I mean? I feel like, they're gonna try to test him with Scary or something. I just feel like I know this dude. I feel like I know this individual really well. Like, I think that he's the type of dude that's gonna be like, okay, this is a situation. I can make this work. I can take advantage of. They think I'm they think I'm gonna run the ball. They think I'm gonna run with Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson. But I think it'd be foolish for him. Foolish of him not to. But actually, we got a poll actually on Twitter, ABG _ Errrything Twitter handle, and the same question: do you trust Scott Turner to stick with the run first, or win the time of win the time of possession game plan against the Texans? We got it 57% yes and 43% no. 58 people have already voted. Yeah, I think it should be obvious, right? He should.
Right.
He should be running the football.
No.
But still, for a while that was 50, and that poll was like close to 50-50 because folks weren't really sure of it.
But sure. I mean,
they weren't sure.
There's a lot of pause, right?
Yeah.
Because his history has proven that whenever we've thought that he's figured out something and the offense is getting to a certain point,
yeah,
he switches it up on everybody, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, there's a lot of things that can go into this. Offensive coordinators have these egos about themselves that don't make any sense. Like instead of doing what works, it's like, oh, I want to put something on film.
Yes.
Well, I don't want everybody to think that this is what we're going to do. And I can see the standpoint of, oh, this is the team we should be. This is the team we should be handling. Let's try things.
Let's try some things
to help our team, right?
Yes.
Rather than focusing on
winning the game. Yes.
Let's win the game.
Yes.
Right. So
great point.
I think I can't disagree with you there. I can't disagree with you there. I would love to disagree with you there, but this guy's history is proven.
He iffy, man. He iffy.
Yeah, man. And ain't nobody going, I'm not putting the church's money on that, baby.
Yeah, I know. Actually on Twitter too, about that whole poll, I got people responding on it. Gabriel Wood tweeted, I don't trust him at all, but that is the recipe for success. My man, hashtag girl dad tweeted, I'll never trust him. And actually had somebody, there's someone who did say they trust him. I gotta go back to it. But yeah, that's funny. I'll never trust him. Like, dude, he a funny dude, bro. Here you go. My man, George Carmi. What's up, George? Has his own show, his own podcast. Follow George at George Carmi 21. It's the I think it's the Football Commanders podcast, so make sure you check it out. He said, I do. The Texans hold the league's worst rush defense in terms of yards, 32nd in the league. The formula is right in front of them. Set the tone, as Terry McLaurin would say. And also, I want to make sure I say it's full press Commanders podcast. So make sure check out George, the Full Press Commanders podcast. But yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's obvious. It's an obvious thing. Like the formula is out there, but you just gotta. Sometimes when you look at a dude and they show you who they are all the time, you gotta believe who they are, bro.
Gotta believe them.
You gotta believe.
Gotta believe
That's
them,
what
man.
I'm saying. I get it though.
See a horse and they got white and black stripes. It's a zebra.
Yeah, it's what it is. Hey man, but let's get something more positive, man. Defense and Chase Young is returning, man. How many snaps do you think he's going to get in this game, and do you think he'll be effective?
Man, the Predator is back. I think all the hype around him coming out of Ohio State and being a local talent and all that, and the fanfare that he got is for a reason, right? Like his effectiveness has been a longer stint for him to get back on the field. So I'm hoping that extra time allows him to come back and be a little bit himself. I want to see. I'm asking myself, is he going to wear the knee brace? Is he not going to wear the knee brace? Like, I think all that matters, right? I think he has if he comes in, is he starting, right? I think there's a lot of questions there, right? If he's coming in rotation to get him some reps, then I think that, Chase is never a high sack guy anyway, right? Not for the Commanders, at least.
Not in the NFL.
Not in the NFL. Right?
He had like a 7-9, not a double digits.
7. I think he had one the year that he played.
The rookie year had like 7-9 or something.
7. Yeah, 7. And then like the next year he had 1 in like 8 games, and then like he got hurt.
He hasn't been a sack. He hasn't had a bunch of sacks so far. Yes,
right. So he's not a high sack guy, right? But he's a high energy guy, right? Yeah. He's also a stout run defender, right? And he also just completes the line.
Yeah, and he gets pressure. He does get pressure. He does get pressure. Man, I get sacked, but he gets pressure.
Yeah. he completes the line.
Yes.
In a sense that you can't focus too much on Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
The guys next to him, whether it's Payne or Allen, depending on
especially
how
now,
they mix him around.
Especially now, they're playing.
Now the way that those guys are playing
it may make his life easier.
Right, you would think that him and is just an infusion of talent and energy into the defense, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing Chase get his feet under him. I'm thinking it's going to take another 2 to 3 weeks. You got to get used to the contact. You got to you got to trust the knee. You know, we see it a lot in running backs more so than any other position. When they come back, they're not quite the same. But like a lot of positions are that way, right? So I want to see if he's gonna play with this brace or not. I expect Chase to come in, be started against the run, get his feet wet every week, improve. You know what I mean? And as the team gets better, he proves his worth. You know what I mean? I think when they made that run to the playoffs, I think there was a lot of time plays. I think there was a lot of plays that didn't make the stat sheet that he contributed to.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
He's that kind of player. He's that kind of player. Whenever the high sack number starts to match the effort
that's going to be an MVP.
That's when he's going to be. That's when he's going to be a perennial All-Pro and a perennial Pro Bowl.
MVP, like MVP, defense MVP type of player. Right, so this is my thing about Chase. Now I don't have nothing negative to say about Chase the player. I know a lot of people want to hate on Chase. I don't have nothing negative to say about Chase the player. My issue about is him coming back early. I do think I wouldn't have an issue with him sitting out the whole year.
Yeah, I thought about that
because the other day, like we mentioned a guy. You're a Giants fan, but I love this dude. I love Saquon, and I've said this before. Like the only one dude, the mythical figure that's come back from ACL and been like that dude off year one. That's Adrian Peterson. No one does that. No one. No one. I don't care what it is. What position you play. No one. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why teams, as good as OBJ is, there's a reason why he doesn't have a job right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason why. You know what I'm saying? He's got his surgery. There's a reason why. So, like, my thing about Chase is that, like, he's not going to you don't have your explosion year one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's year two where you get your explosion. It's where you get all your explosion back. You look at Saquon now.
Because you get a full off season.
A full off season, yeah, to do football stuff. Look at Saquon now compared to last year. And yes, you got to trust your knee, but it's a little bit more than that. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more than that.
I mean, Saquon is on record saying that, he didn't get to train for football.
Yes, because you're worried about getting your rehabbing. It's not about football stuff. So it's just different, man. Like, I just want people to understand, like, I hope he has an impactful, because my issue is that there are haters out there for Chase. So if he doesn't come out and look like Chase, then it's like, oh man, we wasted a draft pick, a second round. We wasted this pick on Chase. And they're already saying it, but they're going to hate even more. But my thing is that that ain't on Chase. I think Chase, if he rested this season out, he would have been all right. I think you would get the real Chase next season. But anyway, neither here nor there. But in terms of snacks, I would like to see him use on third downs. I don't want to see him on second downs, because I feel like pass rush situations. Because I don't want to see him in situations where people want to try to cut him. Like, and this, that, and the other, like, do that in second down where you have an opportunity when it's a passing down, where you don't got to really worry about people going to your knees early. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, running situations for a second, they may run the ball. People may try to, cut you, whatever. So, and you're going to be worried about your knee all day. So give him pass situations, make him feel good about himself, and then see what he can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and give him an opportunity to make a play. Because I do think he plays with energy. But if you watch the clips, I've been watching clips of him in practice. I'm really not happy, like thoroughly excited by his movement, because I do think it's kind of like I don't see explosion on some of it.
It's like
it's not. I mean, he looks better than some, but it's not the same dude we saw prior. Put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same dude. So it's where you're wearing that brace that you were talking about, and like that brace is going to hinder him. And I would advise to keep the brace on. Because again, you're still, dude, you tore your AC, I think your ACL and your meniscus. So why would you? Yeah, don't chance it. Don't chance it. You should wear the brace. You should wear the brace until next season, where again, like you said, Mo, you're training for football. Like, you're training to be better. You're training for explosion. You're training for this. Now, I give him like my thing. And some people are like, maybe he sat and watched, and hopefully, he got better. I'm like, dude, he was trying to get better when he was at camp with Von Miller. You know what I'm saying? His DN camp. So I expect Chase to be all right in terms of technique. I think he's going to be a better player once he gets his whole explosion back. But he may surprise me, right? He may be a freak. He may be like an Adrian Peterson. But there's only one Adrian Peterson. There's only one Adrian Peterson.
Everything about him coming out said he was a freak of nature. So like,
yeah.
I'm rooting for him as a local talent, as a local coach that knows a lot of people that know him since he was a youth. I mean, I loved him at Ohio State.
He's
when the
super talented. I think they use him wrong here. I think he's super talented. I think Chase Young should. He's super talented. I think Chase Young is super talented. I said I'm a Michigan fan. I know how good Chase Young is. I don't give Ohio State players credit a lot. I know how good Chase Young is. I know exactly how good he is. Like, he should be in the right team. He could be like the Bosa's or whatever. This kills me that, you know, that I feel like Washington makes life easy. It makes like tough for Chase Young. Like, it's like you're forcing him to do all the work in terms of the pass rusher. There's certain things you can do for him to make his life so much easier. You know what I mean? And he can get the quarterback. He can literally.
But I think it's a philosophy, right?
Yes,
I think it's a philosophy there that's wrong because
for him.
And you know, as GMs, it's like they want to be the smartest people in the room. If I invest in 4 D linemen in 4 years, I'm of the thinking that I don't need any stunts. I'm of the thinking that I don't need any blitzes, anything to relieve their
but you should
workload,
though.
right?
You should
but
though.
You should.
You should.
Because why not throw that wrinkle in there for the other offensive coordinator to have to worry about something? You know, some wrinkles. Why just base it on them and their pure athleticism and their pure talent?
And you're playing against and you're playing against
when the offense is scheming against them.
Yeah, and you're playing against other. You know, you're playing against some of these positions are first rounders too. Like, they're talented.
First rounders, pro bowlers,
like, so of course, like make it fixate on their weakness and make it hard and attack their weakness. Exploit it. Yeah, if you got a weak guard, go right at them. Because teams do this against Washington all the time. It's like there's a weak guard in center.
And move them to the other side.
They blitz on their side. They do so much crap, and people get free. So I'm just saying, like, I don't get in all that. But still, though, like, I just hope that I hope it, like, third downs. I want to see him on third downs. I want to say something like he gets about, I want him to get like 30% of snaps. That's about it.
You know from the whole game?
Your whole game, 30% of snaps.
The whole game. I mean, you guys should be able to slow them down. So it could be, you know, if you run the ball the way you guys are supposed to run the ball and you slow them down, then it should be like about 25 plays.
Yeah, that's fine. Right? That's fine.
And I think that most importantly, what I want to see from Chase is to get to the finish line since he's going to play. Healthy, unscathed.
So I want
no setbacks. I want him to go into the off season ready to be able to do football stuff, not rehabbing football.
Man,
stuff.
That's what I want, man. That's what I'm. Anytime anybody has an ACL and they come back in year 1, I'm so scared they're going to like get hurt it again. So I'm so scared for it. Like, so I'm like you. I'm like,
because contractually they got to come. They got to come talk about that 5th year option this summer, right?
Exactly.
Talk about a lot. I mean, so I understand his want to play because you want to get that 5th year.
Oh, he getting that 5th year regardless, though. That's the thing. He's gonna get that thing regardless. That's why I don't get why he.
But I don't know, Wole. If he comes in like you said there's a lot of haters here, right? Like, if he comes in, this would be year 3, and he's never led the team in sacks. He's been the only one injured out of all 4 of them. Right? And like, I'm gonna invest $18 to $20 million.
I would for the 5th. For him. For him. But I feel like you let him sit that 1 year and you get the possibilities of it. I would for him. Like, for him. Plus, it's rare, and it's rare not to exercise that option on a starting second pick overall. Like, that's rare not to, though.
It is, but it's like rare. His injury history can make it that, especially if he doesn't show flashes coming back. Right. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't, if I was him, like, I mean, I think he's a different dude. I think he wants to come back. Like, I think he's to your point. He wants to come back. I don't know if that's the reason, though, but I mean, I get you, though. I feel
it's a big reason. You got to think about it.
I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play. If it was me, I'll be real with you. If it was me, I'll be trying not to play.
Like I said, I mentioned it the other day that Chase should sit out the whole year. Me and my homeboy.
Yeah, I've been saying that. I agree with that. Because I think
but I also see why he's not sitting out.
I mean, if he's feeling that way,
you're putting all your eggs in one basket for next year. Yeah. And then the worst, like, let's say they don't give him the 5th year option, right? Then he plays next year on the job. He has to on a prove-it deal, essentially. Right? That's what Josh Jacobs is going through right now in Oakland. Luckily for him, He's balling out of
He
control.
always balling. That boy always ball though.
But he's balling way out of. He's already like I think his best season's been like 1,100 some odd yards. He's already at over 800, almost 900 yards.
That boy always been good though. I like
and
that boy.
We halfway through the season almost, like a little bit halfway past the season.
Sorry, ass coach.
Let me start on McDaniels.
Always get a job. Always get a job though. You know what I'm saying?
Let me start on McDaniels.
But real quick though, give me a prediction, man. Give me a prediction this game. And actually, I'll put a wrinkle on it. Will Chase get a sack too in this game?
I think. Does Chase get a sack? If they play Chase on just third downs, Chase can get a sack. I take that. I see because the only formidable offensive lineman they have is Laremy Tunsil.
Yeah, they do. And Tunsil will probably be on Montez.
He's gonna have to be on Montez.
Montez has been an animal.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be on Montez, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna have to be on Montez. You're gonna let the Alabama wall do their thing in the middle. Chase should have the weaker of the two tackles. It's a passing situation.
You would have to win.
Hey, pass situation, his athleticism, his level of player should just be able to win at least once.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or push it to the point where he's pressuring to the point where he's resulting in sacks to somebody else.
Yeah.
That we'll count that too. Those are hockey assists.
Yeah. But I think Payne Allen will allow him to get them sacks because Payne Allen
Payne Allen up the middle.
So dominant. They've been so dominant, man.
Up the middle. So when we think about it, the only worry I have is that for the middle to be that stout, they give up a lot in the run game. Me personally. Miles Sanders is having his weight up.
He was at the end because they were.
I mean, Miles Sanders. He
was it again. I'm not going to. It's different though. This is the reason why I think people like Miles Sanders is going to always. He's going to always eat against them. It's because you got to worry about the other dude too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
The legs of the other dude.
You know what I'm talking about? You got to worry about Hurts. So you know, it's like you can see it though. They did, and you know this team, and you know because you're a Giants fan, you know it. Like they worry about mobile quarterbacks. They do. So it makes it easier for them. You know what I'm saying? I will say this though: the Eagles did mess up by not utilizing Miles Sanders in the first half though. I think they messed up. That like they went. I agree. This is why I'm agreeing with you. I think if they did what you're talking about, it could have been a different outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were pass happy in the first half.
I mean, so to answer your question, give me the Commanders. Give me the Commanders 24-13.
Yeah, I would have it. I have it the Commanders 20-10. I think Chase is probably with Ryan Kerrigan. I think Ryan Kerrigan has done some good things with some of these folks on the D line as the defensive line, as one of the defensive line coaches. I think that I think Chase will get a sack. I think Chase will get a sack. I think Chase will get a sack. If he can use his strength and bull rush, folks, he can still do that. But that takes a lot of planting on that knee, though. That's just scary too, man. It's a lot, man. It's a lot more. That position is scary, bro. Like for real talk. Like we talk about running backs. They move. You're using your legs for leverage. Yeah, you're using legs for leverage.
Like wide receivers, man.
Yes, bro. Yeah.
I tell people that all the time. If you got a big wide receiver that you think is a bum, and I'm not talking about on the pro level, I'm talking about like high school, college. Put him on the D line. As long as if he's somewhat aggressive, it's the same hand fighting.
Yeah.
You know, he's coming out of a running stance instead of standing up, but like it's the same. So that's why I think he should wear the knee brace and being somebody that's suffered ACL.
Gotta wear it.
Put that on at least for the first year, get through these games. You get to the off season now you can get back to your superpower lifting, right?
Yes.
You can get back to your functional movements as a DN. You can get back to your cone drills and all that. And once you gain that confidence back in the off season and that injury is behind you and you don't feel no pressure to play for a contract or anything like that, and you play a little bit more freer. You know what I mean? When it comes out,
I'm with you, bro.
He dogs.
I'm with you. I feel like it depends how you train too, man. If you train like a savage before the injury, then you could be all right. You can kind of work around it. But like again, everybody don't train like Adrian Peterson. Everyone don't train like him. You gotta
Indeed,
be a
man.
certain dude. Like you gotta be like Trent Williams. He trained like a savage too. Like
And Trent Williams a dog, man.
yeah, like he used to like he get back from injuries. He trained like he get it back pretty quick because he's a savage. He was a savage. Hey man, this has been a dope show. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search all Burgundy and Gold Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything and like our All Burgundy and Gold Errrything Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Gold Errrything YouTube channel as well. Hit the red subscribe button. Then like our current video, which is the post game show from Monday night. Then when this is posted, like this video, like this video. Then share this video. All right, there you go. Do that. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Listen to my man Mo. Do that joint. Thank you, and I appreciate you. Anyway, this has been a dope show. Always appreciate the homie Mo. Ray and Glenn, I appreciate them too as well. Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold Errrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, 4 ages. You dig? Deuces, A Mega. Lead us out, big homie.